Wacky facts for Left 4 Dead. Did you know that there was a lot of careful study done before the creation of the character Ellis from Left 4 Dead 2? During production of the game, Valve sent their top scientists to study the living habits of people who lived in central to northern Florida. The scientists studied life in the area for 5 years, and this is where they decided on Ellis's accent, his affinity for unwashed, undone overalls, and his likeness for shirts with references to obscenities on them, as well as his love for trucks and hobbies, including having a friend named Keith. Valve also wanted to have Ellis wear Crocs on his feet, but they were unable to get the rights to the brand. One more scrapped idea was where Ellis was dressed head to toe in nothing but hunting camo print. Valve decided against this since they found that it was just too darn tacky for the average human to stomach. Despite Valve designing Ellis as a Floridian and somewhat of a stereotypical redneck, Valve eventually decided on making the character from Alaska, quote, just to fuck with people. Oh, and by the way, do you know the reason why all of Left 4 Dead's levels are previewed in the form of movie posters? This is because the Left 4 Dead franchise was originally going to be a series of CG animated films. They were going to be told from the eyes of one of the 4 survivors, in a similar way to found footage films such as Paranormal Activity. A lot of progress was actually made on the first film, No Mercy. All of the environments were rendered, models for the zombies and the survivors were made, and the script had been written completely. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, until they started up the movie to give it a test. Upon zooming in and going to the view of the main character, the character never moved, and after a while, the other character stopped talking. Upon further inspection, it seemed that the developers had accidentally made a video game instead of a film. The development team panicked, wondering what they were going to do, until Gaben Ewell, Prime Minister of Valve, brought up the idea to simply finish the remaining films as video games as well, and release it to the public. And thus, Left 4 Dead was born. And now it's time for Wacky Facts Easter Egg Theater. In the Versus mode in Left 4 Dead, one team plays as the survivors, but the other team plays as one of the 4 to 7 special infected. But one of them is thought to be unplayable, that being the witch. But there is actually a way that a human player can control the witch. First, you have to be on the team of the special infected after you've been killed. Before you respawn, you must strip down to your boxers, sit down in front of your computer screen eating ice cream out of the tub, and cry as loudly as you possibly can. During your wails, try to yell about how you don't know what you're doing with your life, and how much you miss your ex-girlfriend. Continue doing this until the neighbors knock on your door and ask you to quiet down, and blammo, you're playing as the witch. Go ahead, give it a try. And finally, did you know that in typical Valve fashion, every single thing in the entirety of both Left 4 Dead games is a reference to another Valve franchise? We can look at this screenshot alone and find many references right here. See this brick wall? Eerily similar to the brick wall found in Day of Defeat Source. If you look here, you will see a bullet. The Heavy from Team Fortress 2 also uses bullets, and even holds one up in the Meet the Heavy trailer. The setting of Left 4 Dead happens to take place on Earth, which is the same planet that Half-Life 2 takes place on. And if you look at the game's title, you will see that Dead starts with the letter D. This was actually a hint at the then up-and-coming game Dota 2, which also starts with a D. Think you can find all of the references? Good luck. There's literally trillions. Now where else on the internet could you find facts like these? Only here on Wacky Facts! So be sure to give me suggestions on other franchises you want me to find some interesting facts on. I'll do whatever I can to find the most unknown and interesting facts I possibly can. And be sure to subscribe for more content so you don't miss a single wacky fact on Wacky Facts! See you next time!
It's wacky!